Hello and good day to you, sir. I am Eve Margaret Esposero from Block 2A, and here is my oral deliberation. Thank you. Now, let me explain the term number one. So, term number one, the regulatory and taxation. So, the BOC, NAIA, and Tariff Commission. Customs Modernization and Tariff Act CMTA. So, the meaning of this, it is the main law that governs customs rules, taxes, and import-export in the Philippines. So, for example, when you import shoes, the BOC follows CMTA to compute the duties and taxes. And now, term number two, the minimis value. So, what does it mean? It value below which goods are not taxed. So for example, if your online order is below 10,000, so it means no customs duty. Term number three, the HS code, that harmonized system code. So what does it mean? A number used worldwide to classify products. So for example, shoes, one harmonized system code. Laptops, different harmonized system code. And for our term number four, the AHTN, ASEAN Harmonized Tariff Nomenclature. So what does it mean? The ASEAN version of AHS code for consistent classification. So for example, the Philippines and Thailand use same code for rice. Term number five, tariff classification ruling. And the meaning of this is the official decision on what the harmonized system code a product belongs to. For example, an importer asks the BOC, is this rubber or plastic? So the BOC is the one who decides. And term number six, the lodgement. So it means submitting import documents to customs. For example, a broker uploads documents to the Bureau of Customs system. Term number seven, selectivity system, or which we call the color lanes. So what does it mean? The system that decides inspection. Level green, no check. Yellow, document check. Red, physical inspection. So for example, your shipment gets the red lane. So opened and inspected. And term number eight, the physical examination. So it means actual opening and checking of goods. So for example, the customs opens a box to verify contents. And term number nine, non-intrusive inspection, X-ray. So it means it's scanning goods without opening them. For example, baggage scanned at airport. Assessment of duties and taxes, which means computation of how much tax to pay. For example, 50,000 item. So the BOC computes VAT plus duties and taxes. Airway bill. So it means the document for air cargo shipment. So for example, your DHL package has an airway bill number. Abandoned goods. So what does it mean? Goods not claimed or unpaid within a time. So for example, an importer doesn't pay taxes. Goods auctioned. BOC port of entry. So it means official placed where goods enter the country. And for example, the NAIA airport, import entry and internal revenue declaration. And it means the main form for declaring imported goods. And for example, a broker fills this out before release. Customs appraiser, and it means the officer who checks value and tax of goods. And for example, it ensures that importer didn't undervalue items. anti-dumping duty. This means extra tax on goods sold to cheaply unfair competition. Like for example, cheap imported steel taxed more to protect local industry. The logistics and brokerage operations. The NMM brokers and MSTSI Subic declarant. And this means the person who declares goods to customs and for example the licensed customs broker. Incoterms 2020. So it rules on who pays shipping, insurance, and etc. Example, the FOB, the buyer pays the shipping. Bill of lading. It means that the document for sea shipments. And for example, it needed to claim cargo from port. Demurrage. So the meaning of demurrage, it is the fee for leaving container too long in port. And for example, delay in pickup. So it means you have some extra charges. Detention. So detention, it means the fee for keeping container outside the port for too long. And for example, the company holds the container, so it pays the penalty. TEU, 20-foot equivalent unit. And it means that standard container size measurement. And for example of this, one container equals 1 TEU. Stevedoring. It means loading and unloading cargo from ships. For example, crane lifts container from the vessel. Arrastre. So it means moving cargo inside port. For example, container moved to storage yard. Manifest. So what does manifest mean? It means that the list of all cargo in a ship or plate. So for example, the customs checks manifest versus actual goods. Freight forwarding. So it means organizing shipment of goods. For example, the company arranges shipping from China to Philippines. The supply chain visibility. So it means that tracking goods in real time. For example, you see your package location online. Transshipment. So it means that the goods transferred to another vessel. For example, China to Singapore and to the Philippines. The LCL, the less than container load. So LCL means shared container shipment. So for example, small shipment mixed with others. The FCL, full container load. So full container load, it means one container for one importer. Example, large company fills whole container. Chassis. It means trailer used to move containers. For example, truck carries container using chassis. Port throughput. It means the total volume of the cargo handled. And for example, Subic handles thousands of containers monthly. The free port zone. The Subic context. It means an area with tax perks for businesses. And for example, Subic Bay Freeport Zone. Special economic zones and incentives. So the PEZA. The Philippine Economic Zone Authority. And what does it mean? So it means it manages ecozones and incentives. Ecozone. It means the special area for businesses with tax benefits. And for example, the PEZA zone in Baguio. The ITH, income tax holiday. It means no income tax for a period. And for example, a company pays 0% income tax for 4 to 6 years. Cross-border trade. It means the trading goods between countries, and for example, the Philippines exports electronics to Japan. Indirect export. It means selling to exporter instead of directly exporting, and its example is supplier sells parts to exporting company. Zero rated VAT. So what does it mean? It means that 0% VAT on exports. And its example, exported goods are VAT free. Customs territory. It means that the area where normal customs rules applied. And for its example, outside PASA zones. Admission into ecozone. So it means that bringing goods into the PASA zone. And for its example, raw materials enter tax-free. PASA Gate Pass. So it means that the permit for goods entering or leaving the zone. Example, needed before transport. Constructive exportation. It means it is treated as export even if not shipped abroad. And for its example, supplier sells to PASA company. Certificate of origin. And it means that proof of where goods are made. Example, made in the Philippines. Surety bond. It means that the guarantee for payment or obligation. And for example, the importer promises to pay duties later. The operations and quality standards and manufacturing. So it means that the rules to ensure products are safe and high quality. For its example, clean factory, proper handling. Quality assurance. And it means that it is the way of preventing defects before production. For example, setting standards and procedures. Quality control. So it means that products after production. So for example, inspecting finished bags. Lead time. It means time from order to delivery. And for example, 2 weeks to produce and ship goods. Inventory management. It is the managing stock levels. And its example is tracking how many materials are left. Just in time. So it means that materials arrive only when needed. So for example, a factory receives leather exactly before production. So I will be sharing what I've learned in the field. Number one is overall big picture. All the places that I've visited, like the Bureau of Customs, Tariff Commission, Philippine Economic Zone Authority, are part of one system. So first, let me discuss to you the moving goods in and out of the country legally, and efficiently and safely. Customs clearance process. What happens to imported goods? So this is the core of everything. When goods arrive, like at Ninoy Aquino International Airport, they don't go straight to the owner. Instead, they go through customs clearance or the Bureau of Customs. So let me explain to you the step-by-step process. Number one is the lodgement. What is lodgement? So the importer or broker submits its documents, includes invoice, packing list, bill of lading, or area bill. So let us just think of it as declaring what's inside the shipment. And for our number two is the classification and valuation. So customs checks What is a product? So it means the classification. How much is it worth? It means the valuation. This determines how much tax you can pay. Number 3 is assessment. So customs calculates duties, taxes like VAT. Number 4, payment. So the importer pays required fees. And number 5, examination. Goods may be x-rayed, physically inspected. This prevents smuggling or fraud. And for our number 6, release. Goods are released to importer. And why is this matters? So it matters to ensures government revenue, plus it protects our country. Tariff classification and valuation. This is where the tariff commission comes in. So subsection A, classification, the harmonized system code. So every product has a code under the harmonized system. For example, shoes, one code, phones, another code. Each code's specific tax rate. And for our subsection B, valuation. So customs determines the true value of goods. And the main method, transaction value, actual price paid. So if wrong, under declaration, lower tax is illegal. Misclassification, wrong duties. It can lead to penalties or seizure of the shipment. And for our number 4, role of customs brokers. So here is the role of the customs brokers. Customs broker like NMM, so they act as a middleman between the importer and the customs. So what do? They prepare documents, submit declarations, compute duties and taxes, coordinate with customs. So why are they important? So they are important because customs procedures are complex. Brokers ensure everything is legal and accurate. And for our number 5, logistics and supply chain. Port Subic experience. So this is about movement of goods. The flow is number 1, goods arrive at port. 2nd, stored in warehouse. 3rd, cleared by customs. And 4th, delivered to importer. And also I will give the key ideas. So speed shipment, it means lower cost. Delays shipment, it means very expensive. Coordination is critical. So let me give an example. So at Subic, you likely saw a cargo handling, container movement, storage systems. And now for our number 6 is the manufacturing and compliance. So from good manufacturing visit, the companies are importing raw materials, process them through export finished goods. So they must follow quality standards, safety rules, import and export regulations. So let me give an example. So if they import ingredients, it must pass the customs first. And for our number 7 is the PAZA economic zones. So the Philippine Economic Zone Authority, it manages special economic zones like in Baguio. And the benefits for the companies, it is incentives, duty-free importation, and faster customs processing. But however, goods must be used for export and strict monitoring. So let me explain the difference from regular system. So regular customs PAZA, full duties, often tax-free, slower process, and faster, more paperwork simplified. And for our number 8, how everything connects. So here's the full flow, and let me explain to you. The first, goods arrived, handled by logistics. Number 2, broker prepares documents. And number 3, customs process clearance. Number 4, tariff rules determine the duties and taxes. Number 5, goods will be released or sent to PEZA companies. Number 6, manufacturing to export happens. It's one continuous system.